good use of road.
Yeah, better roads.
Yes. Instead of, you have to dodge from holes and those things, it should be better shortly.
Okay.
And I know they're supposed to be starting, well, they started already because they mark out from the airport roundabout all the way up to Shadwell roundabout. The
Okay.
whole stretch of road.
Yeah,
They
because
should be
it's
doing
kind
some
of
road. Yes, some road works.
okay. Good stuff.
Yes. One should ensure that it's safe before they cross the street. If a crossing is nearby the road you intend to cross, use it at all times.
Can we remind adults that crossing is not looking one way because traffic comes from both ways? I'm scared for them. I look at them and I'm be like, but he's not watching this way, and look, something's coming. Me, you should see me trying to be a robot with my head
Yes.
sides because I'm looking.
Yeah, and even too, but you have some children, they are young people on these not motorbikes, sorry, the pedal bicycles.
Without lights, oh my gosh.
Even without lights, but even in terms of how they maneuver as if the vehicles are watching out for them. So sometimes they come into the small traffic spots, and had it not been for you to glance them on the side, then
They get it, or you get it.
and it's crazy.
Yeah, and they're not riding with the bikes on like how we pedal, the bikes are up in the air.
They're coming through all sort of holes between the traffic. Sometimes you wonder if you had not seen them, what would happen, and they're not being.
They're not being cautious with their life. This group of young people. Listen, this generation, we have to keep praying for them because they're devils.
There's a vehicle, so it would end up in the hospital.
And I always tell my niece and nephew, vehicles can be fixed. Vehicles are never in the hospital. A human can never walk or look the same after an
Yes.
accident.
According to what accident?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not run, play, or idle in the street. You should walk in a straight line from one side of the road to the other side of the road. Before crossing, ensure that the oncoming vehicle has stopped behind the line just before crossing. Remember and also make sure that the driver acknowledge you before you step on that crossing. Because you might have a senior moment, you might be thinking, and you're driving, yes, you could be in control of it, but still not in control of it. Because you could be driving and your mind is not here. Yes. Yes, you
I
could be
had that day.
driving, but you're not still in control of that because
Yes.
your mind could be somewhere else. So make
Yes.
sure that the driver acknowledge you before you step on that crossing.
And there are persons too, the light is green, and for whatever reason, they try to cross the road at the same time, and it's crazy.
Since you're laughing, that happened to you?
No. I'm just because everything he says is true. No, the only thing I had happened, I wasn't here and I ran the light. That's it.
Okay.
Nothing else. Nothing else. And after that, I'm very cautious. That's why I asked because that's where it happened. At that
Yes, and when
intersection
the
right
light is
there.
green, it is green for the vehicular traffic, not for pedestrians.
Yeah, we don't understand. I don't think people understand the danger. We see people get hit down. We see the fatalities. Why are we doing nonsense? A vehicle can
And as you said, they're
Fixed.
only looking one side of the road.
crossing, and this is me looking
Imagine
here.
you
when Azard
crossing
coming
when
this
you
way.
have a green light on for the vehicles to go and only looking on one side of the road.
Or you're on your phone and you're going across.
Yep. And
And even adults are training children to do this thing.
yeah, children are watching.
No, but they have children with them and they are crossing the road while vehicles are coming.
As I said, the children are watching, and children do what they see adults do.
Yes, because they think it is right. I
Yeah.
don't do it, so I know it is right.
But what about somebody that is going to say, officer, once I'm on a crossing, I have the right of way. And as you said, maybe the driver didn't see you, you didn't make eye contact, and you figure, oh, I am the crossing, pedestrians have the right of way. What do you tell somebody like that once they're hit and they survive the vehicular accident?
Yes, but as I said, make sure that the person who is driving acknowledge you.
Okay.
Yes, the crosswalk is there for us to cross, but make sure that the person who is behind that wheel see you.
Okay. Fair
Yes.
enough.
Yes, because you could step and make sure you step on the cross and you wait before the vehicle you wait for the vehicle them to stop. Not just step and then cross.
Yep.
You step and you wait, make sure the vehicles are stopped, and then you cross.
Another observance I have before you continue: persons that use the roadways to exercise, they walk on the side where the traffic is coming to their back. That scares me. Oh my gosh, because you're supposed to be facing it, so
The
at
traffic,
least
they
you
are
have time
coming
to
traffic,
run
Yes.
or do something.
Because something could knock you down and then the vehicle just got you. Don't even know who hit you. They don't
Yeah.
even know the number. So you always face the oncoming traffic when you're walking. At least you can say, okay, I see this number. Yes. But if it is behind you, you cannot
That's
see.
it. And
We
they
don't
can hit
have
you
eyes
so
to the back of
hard.
us.
Yeah.
Yes. If a school crossing guard is conducting the flow of traffic, you must wait until you are instructed to cross the road. If a police is at the traffic point conducting the free flow of traffic, you must wait until you are told to cross the road by the officer at the traffic point. And you know, we had traffic point before these lights came on, which used to be by 4th Street and Victoria Road. Yes, and sometimes the officer is in there controlling the traffic, and you're calling the children, them coming and they're just going across. No, you have to wait for the officer to tell you it is time for you to cross. Even sometimes we're having function and we're there, because we supersede the lights, and we're there controlling the traffic, and people just want to cross. You still have to wait for us to acknowledge to tell you cross. Because if you step on the cross and we are calling traffic, you're at fault.
You know, one happening thing I must say about the traffic lights is that I remember in the lead up to the inception, people were saying, "Oh, the traffic lights are going to make the traffic worse." Oh, they were saying that people. I'm sounding soft. Really? Really?
I could
That's
hear you, but
weird.
Kortensia can't hear you.
You
That
can.
is very strange. Okay.
Maybe
It might
it's
be the
your
headphones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I have a pair over here, so.
Yeah.
But the people are saying, "Oh, the traffic lights are going to make the traffic worse," and so. But that's not true.
It's better.
It's much better. Yeah. But I could tell you though, when you guys used to have the human thing, that used to make it worse. I'm not
It
making.
used to be worse.
Trust me. I could tell, like, if I was driving down Victoria Road, right,
Yeah.
or coming across Keon Street, I would know when someone was there.
You'll see the traffic jam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, you would know. No, honestly, and I'm sure people will tell you that.
Yeah, but usually
You would know when a traffic officer was there, because they made it worse.
Well, I wouldn't know that they're there because you would see a jam. Usually you see
Yeah.
a very long line, and
Exactly.
then afterwards you will say, well, okay, you understand why.
There was a certain
There's usually a
quality.
jam.
There was a certain quality to the traffic congestion that only a human being at that junction could cause. You just knew it. I can't describe it, but you could tell.
I've been there several times and I never see that. I'm talking from my point of view.
Okay.
Yes, because when I started first, I used to be in the traffic point.
I think that might have been the fact, though, because you see the jam because you only have perhaps maybe one person in the center where subway once
Yeah.
was, right?
Yeah.
And so they have one person in that center trying to control traffic from all areas. And so there would be a jam, as opposed to when you have traffic lights in different areas to assist in reducing that sort of congestion.
And they have time.
Yeah.
But sometimes you're in there calling traffic and people not studying you. They're busy doing their thing. So sometimes you're calling and they're not moving. So sometimes that, yes.
Okay.
Because even sometimes now you're still doing it and before they come up, they're taking their time coming up. And you're calling them,
Yeah.
come and they just...
I mean, sometimes we have the traffic wardens or the police officers, sorry, to direct the traffic. And sometimes, even though in recent time they still have them, it's when you have certain instances. The only difficulty is that sometimes you want to go on that road, and then you're directed to go down another road. That's the only thing.
I want to cross, but sometimes the person who is in there must know why you cannot go because sometimes the traffic
Yeah.
so tight across there, but you still mean you want to go.
Yep.
So I'm telling you, come to go straight, and you still mean you want to go left. No.
Yeah. I mean, it's
How do you
in-
deal with somebody like that?
I mean, it's
But you have
oftentimes
to know.
necessary. It's necessary, but I mean, unnecessary inconvenience. Because then afterwards, sometimes when they divert you, and unnecessary inconvenience, they divert you, and then you have to go all the way around again because the road structure is, sometimes. But I guess it's a necessary inconvenience.
So call us if it's 8:52. If you want to squeeze in a call or two, you can call us at 466-0989, 662-0989. I went ahead and had the phones reset right away without even waiting.
Okay, good.
So hopefully,
persons won't understand how just a little power outage could set so many things back, and it's even for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Wearing seatbelts in a moving vehicle is believed to have saved millions of lives worldwide. Wearing a seatbelt is mandatory and the most important precaution you can take to minimize your risk in an accident. Everyone has equal chance of being involved in a collision, so do not take any chances on your safety and that of your fellow passengers. So you're driving a vehicle, a private vehicle, and you pick up someone, and they come in the front seat, make sure they have on the seat belt. If it's a child under the age of 14 and over 5, and they are sitting at the back, make sure that child or children are strapped in.
I have a comment here from someone saying, I'm listening, earplugs plugged into ears is a big problem for pedestrians crossing the road, children and adults alike. So this person is saying that person's cross the road and oftentimes has their earpiece in there.
That's the style.
And
That's the style now.
And there might be noise cancelling ones too, so that makes it even worse.
Okay.
So I don't know if maybe you think you guys maybe should add some kind of ordinance that tells people that, for example, make sure that you, I don't know.
They're going to use it to cross the road, but then when they are done the crossing, they're going to put it back in, and then they're not going to be aware of what's happening around.
And it's not really safe,
Yeah.
It's not safe at all.
That's why the only time I really wear earphones if I'm exercising on the road is if I'm on the golf course. And I'm still aware of my surroundings, because you never know, a golf cart could come driving up.
Or somebody could be shouting at you, alerting you of something you cannot hear what they're saying.
Yeah, I'd be mindful. I keep it at a medium where I could still hear my surroundings outside.
So guys, be careful. Those persons out there walking in the streets, and you have
with your headphones.
Your earpiece, whatever it is, make sure that you are aware to hear what's coming, because that's why you have your ears are there as to prevent any accidents, collisions, or damages to yourself, as you'll be able to pick up the sound. But if you're picking up the sound on your phone alone or whatever, it's problems.
At high speed, the front seat passenger and driver, it is not restrained by a safety belt, would smash their head against the windscreen. Their bodies can badly hit against the steering wheel or dashboard and legs. So if you're in the front seat and you're driving and there's a collision, the seat belt is there to restrain you from hitting any part of your body. And the proper way to wear a seat belt is not on the arms.
Or move the front to your back.
They put it just down here.
Yeah.
The correct way is over your shoulder. From your shoulder come down.
Okay.
Because if you have it on the arm and any accident or whatever, you could injure any part of any organs in your body. Because you're not properly restrained. Some people can say, after I have on my seatbelt, no, but you're not wearing it correctly.
Exactly.
That's not the way how a seatbelt should be worn.
Yeah.
So make sure when you're wearing your seatbelt, it's over your shoulder, come down, not under your arms.
Yeah. There was a recent accident on the peninsula the other day, and I think the tourists hit their knees because they didn't have seatbelt. They flew forward because of the impact of the two vehicles, right? Would you recommend that persons that are in taxis or in the back of any vehicle wear seatbelts? Like we have omnibuses, and I know everybody maybe can't fit the seatbelt or should be able to fit the seatbelt because of the capacity of the bus, right? is there any recommendation in there, or it's ticklish?
Well, we do not have that in law for
Okay.
passenger buses.
Nor the taxis.
And
So it's just for the individual to take it upon themselves to
Yes.
decide, let me protect myself. Okay, all right.
I know for private vehicles, whether you're in the front or the back, and you're a child, you must be restrained.
Okay.
But for a passenger bus and a taxi, no, it's not.
So only for the
But
kids
it's
in the
for
back.
your safety.
Yeah.
It is your safety. And you know, okay, I am in this bus, and if I have a seatbelt, let me restrain myself.
Okay, okay. So it's all up to you.
Yes.
All right.
Having children in the front seat is a danger for child. Having children in the front seat is a danger for the child. Sudden braking action in a moving car can throw the child forward, hitting the front panel and windscreen glass, resulting in serious injuries. Because the children won't be so flexible as an adult.
Yeah, to brace.
Yes. I have some stats here from the World Health Organization. Road traffic crashes result in the death of approximately 1.19 million people around the world each year and leave between 20 and 50 million people with non-fatal injuries. More than half of all road deaths occur among vulnerable road users, such as I said before, pedestrians, cyclists, and motorcyclists. Because remember, the pedestrian doesn't have anything to protect them.
Yeah.
A cyclist the same, and a motorcyclist. The only person who have something to protect them, and sometimes is not all safe, is someone who is in a vehicle. Another factor disrupt road safety is the use of mobile phones. During driving, the last thing that a driver should face is being distracted. Even a second of distraction can cause a life-threatening situation. Hence, mobile phones should never be used while driving. If the need to use the phone is unavoidable, pull over on the side of the road. This eliminates any risk associated with texting and driving. So if you're driving and you get an important call, as I said, I think 2 weeks ago, the phones have call log. You ignore the call, and when you're able to pull over safely, you safely pull over, and you check to see who was calling you. Especially if the phone just keep going off and on, going on every minute. Sometimes it may be an emergency. So once you get a safe place where you could pull over, you pull over and you make that call. Avoid driving and using mobile phone. Remember to always wear your seat belt. Seat belt help in accidents.
Sure do.
And as someone sent in a text, remember when you're walking, make sure your earplugs are out of your ear. Especially if you're exercising or you're just crossing the road. And if you're exercising late at night, make sure you have on the appropriate gears that motorists can see you. Do not walk in dark clothing. If you have on dark clothing, put on something highlighted over it that persons can see you.
Sophie, do you have any numbers for those things you mentioned? As maybe, for example, tickets issued for people using their phone while driving, and
Yes.
really, you could give us numbers now, and even for the seatbelts, like how many people you've ticketed for not wearing seatbelts and so on. Yeah, I think that would be very helpful, and also with the maybe just a quick comparison to last year in terms of where you are at this point in the year. Because, I think it's important that people, I remember I told you guys last week about while you search, I was telling you guys about coming to work last week, and I had just passed the light. There was a car in front, the light had turned green, and I heard the guy behind him blow the horn. And when I looked, I thought, I was looking because I thought maybe the person was hailing me up. When I looked, the guy in front was on his phone. and the light had turned green, and he hadn't, And I still feel, and I think I mentioned this last week, I actually think that is a huge, that's a huge opportunity for revenue, I guess. Because I
You
think
could usually tell when someone is on their phone because
The way how they drive.
that they drive is different to someone who's not and who's
Yeah.
completely vigilant.
yeah, it's
They're
true.
usually either very slow, either going off the lane,
Yep.
something like that. There's always indication, and when you pass them, you're like, oh, that's the reason why.
I think if I was a traffic policeman, I'd be hated. I mean, if people think Rouse is hated, hey, it is what it is.
She does her work.
I'd be worse.
I could imagine Jamster just pulling up. Hey, it is
No,
what it is.
No, because
you're on the phone.
I just don't understand. Would it kill you to leave your
I
phone
understand,
until you get to your destination?
Yes. I understand what you're saying.
The thing is, it could kill you actually when you think about it.
Yeah. Officer, anything else you like to
So
say as we conclude?
I just want to give Jamster some stats.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Okay. It's hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just
Some
reminding.
statistics for you, Jamster,
Yeah.
and those persons who are listening. Yeah, some statistics.
So it's 3 minutes after 9 o'clock, and just reminding you that Traffic Talk is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Yeah.
For mobile phone for 2023, from January to July, we had 75 persons ticketed. For this year, we had 91
What?
Wow.
driving whilst using mobile phone.
And you know the number has to be substantially higher. Huh?
Yes.
Think of all the places you're not seeing. you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we had 75 for last year from January to July. For this year, we had 91 so far.
So far.
Wow.
But-
What about seatbelts?
We're not
Oh, you didn't
listening.
do that?
We don't learn, boy. As I say all the time, we don't learn.
But when you look at the list for the
We
court,
have
the
different
magistrate
seat
court,
belts, so I
Mhm.
won't be able to give you,
Okay.
because remember you have child without seat belt.
Without car seat, and I guess that's included there as
Yes.
well, right? Yeah. Okay.
as I was saying, when you look at the magistrate list for safety offences, so it's pretty long most of the times,
Yes.
without due care and attention, and the amount of persons you see on the list, and you're like, wow, yeah. And those are the persons who are challenging it, because generally you pay your fine
And
for
you just
most of the
move along.
parts, yeah,
Mhm.
and you move along for most of it, yeah.
Mm.
I chuckle because I can't believe we see others get in trouble and we allow ourselves to get in trouble too.
Mhm.
What about the car seats? We know in the US, I know we're not the US, but I'm just gonna compare us. Is it mandatory that the children here be in a booster seat up to 5, or
Yes.
so they can't just be restrained by the seatbelt in the back of the car?
No, as long as you're on the 5,
Uh-huh.
you must be in a child car seat.
Car seat, okay.
Yes.
All right. Folks, I
After
hope you heard
pass
that.
5, then you must be restrained by a seat belt if you're in the back.
Okay. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure so nobody said they didn't hear it. So when Officer Sophie stopped you can't say she didn't say the age. She did say up to 5. She said after 5 they can be restrained by the seatbelt, and they must be in the back, not the front.
And that one is more. That one is $200 a ticket. For child seat is $150.
So if they don't have the child seat, it's $150.
If they're not in the child seat, yes. If you're over 5
Mhm.
and on the 4th and you're in the back and you're not restrained, it's
Problems.
$200 for that ticket.
Okay then. No, $200 is a lot of money.
Yes.
Okay, anything else to add, Officer Sophie, before we conclude? Because people like traffic talk. They can't say you didn't talk to them well and let them know the rules, the do's and the don'ts.
Well, I know we're going on a drive as of this week for tinted vehicle. Yes. I've noticed that most persons nowadays days they want the whole vehicle tinted.
Oh boy.
Yes. And the law didn't make provision for that.
Mm.
Yes.
Okay, folks, she warned you. So go fix those tints before she catch you. That's all I can say. She said they're coming. So be mindful.
Everybody you see nowadays days they want from the front to the back, the whole.
So what should be tinted?
You can have tint on the front windscreen, but it's only 10 inches down.
Down, okay.
If a vehicle comes factory tint, it doesn't make sense putting on tint.
Okay, so if the vehicle already comes tinted, keep it. Can we tint all the glass, all our window glasses?
That's what I tell you. Remember, the back does come factory tint.
So don't tint the front.
You can tint the front if it doesn't,
Uh-huh.
but it's only 35% you can put on it
Okay. And can we tint the back glass?
if they didn't come factory tint.
Okay. Okay.
Because if you put on tint on factory tint,
That's police style.
yes,
Okay.
it's gonna carry it way down.
Okay.
It's gonna be way less than the 35%.
Okay. All right. All right.
And a vehicle glass doesn't come 100% clear.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Okay. Understood.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. They always put some UV filtering
On it.
On it. Yeah.
You
Okay.
get like 8-something% or
Okay.
down there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, she told them. So I hope they're ready for it today and they don't get themselves in any trouble and have to pay any fine. She said what she's coming to look for.
And if you challenge that ticket and you go before the magistrate, the ticket is 150. I have seen the magistrate charge someone 1,005 last week, yes, for a tin ticket which was 150. Yes,
Really? Why?
that's what the law states.
1,500?
Yes.
Well, they had to
So
pay
if you want to
150.
challenge, your tin ticket,
So you have to pay the $1,500 plus the.
no,
the
1,500. The magistrate charges.
If you want
so you still have to pay the 150,
No,
officer?
you didn't pay the ticket.
Okay.
You went and you challenged it in court.
And you get an additional amount to pay on the 150.
You pay 1,500.
150,
1,005.
150 very far from 1,500,
Yes.
yeah? Wow.
So persons would like to challenge the ticket.
Folks, let's all keep all the trouble so we don't get a ticket in the first place, so we don't have to challenge, so we don't have to pay no big monies. I don't, boy, it's rough.
Yes, Jamster, why are you watching me like that?
Chamsy getting call out? Oh,
Oh.
boy.
That's pretty wow.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Imagine
pretty,
you're going to argue for 150 and have to pay 1,500.
yeah.
My, what? Nah. I was paying that 150 and get it over with and not commit that offense again.
Judge is waiting for you, boy.
What?
Yeah,
The magistrate, yes.
yeah.
How defeated do you get, though, before we go, when it comes to you told this person to take their tint off, and then when you're not looking for tint on a particular day, you see the person with the same tint?
You ticket them again.
Okay, so you don't feel, you don't
Yes,
get defeated. Okay.
So if I ticket you today,
Mhm.
and I told you to remove your tint,
Mm-hmm.
and I see you 2 days after, and you have one tint again,
Is the ticket the same?
yes,
Is the ticket the same, though, officer?
150, yes.
Don't worry, you
But
will never have to tell me about it.
I had said this to Donnelly when she was here, but
Uh-huh.
don't you think that maybe some more critical thinking needs to go into exactly why it is that you're ticketing people for the tinting? Because here's what I'm saying: it's getting hotter. People are spending all this money on vehicles, right? And if you're basically telling people that they can't, because I think it's bad if the police is going to assume everybody's a criminal. You can't assume everyone is a criminal just because the vehicle is tinted out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to consider the fact that of sun damage to the interior of the vehicle. I think that's a pretty big consideration, and it's not getting any cooler. It's getting hotter every year, so I feel like those. I
He's
feel-
always with this argument.
no, I feel like
officer.
I feel like those things need to be increased.
I-
Just as, for example, in the U.S., I think in the 90s, the drivers the speed limit was 55, and they increased it to 65 because they made the argument that, well, the cars are getting safer. The cars are much more efficient. You can't expect people to be driving 55, so they increased it to 65, right? So what I'm saying is, some of these rules need to change with the times. It's not getting any cooler. The sun does a lot of damage to vehicles. I mean, come on, vehicles are like mortgage grade prices for vehicles now, 6 figures, you know. And to tell someone that they can't put on a little darker tint. Oh, and
Something though that they
and there's a fuel
something-
economy.
Something that they use you really can't see who's inside the vehicle at all.
Okay, I'm not talking about 5% and so, but I mean, think about this as well. Fuel economy. You know, the government, they make a lot of rah about sustainable living and fuel economy and all this stuff. Well, consider the fact that because it's getting hotter, you leave your car locked up and you want to get into the car. The more tint you have on, the less time it takes for the car to cool, to cool up, to cool down when you jump in and turn the AC on. Because when you have the sun blasting in through there with whatever tint the car came on, it takes longer to get the car cooler. You're burning more gas. So all of these things need to be taken into consideration.
So you're really fighting this argument for your tint.
You have visors you can put up. But
the point still, this point still applies though. Yeah.
But the law states 35%, and for now we have to go with 35%. Jams, I understand, and I listen to you. Yes.
Jamsa, you know what I'm suggesting to you, right? You document your points, and then you submit it to the police force for recommendation.
Because honestly, I don't feel like officially a lot of critical thinking goes into a lot of legislation. Honestly, I just think it's like,
I mean,
this is quasi authoritarian thing that goes on. Like, oh, you can't park there. Why can't I park there? Because I said so. I mean, that's how it seems. You can't do this because I said so. There's never a reasoned rationale. Notice I said rationale. Rationale for why this can happen. If they did that, I would understand. But a lot of times it's just just because we can.
And as Azard, so you can write and channel it.
Yeah, you submit your paper, your recommendations to the relevant authorities, so that this is what I've outlined, based on the studies and the research.
I guess after all that, I'll be walking and they will pull me over for tint being too much, even though I'm walking.
Are you saying that your vehicle is not at the required tint level?
They might say
I think that's why
he's making an argument.
Yes. Wow.
Is your vehicle at the required tint level?
No, it's nothing to do with that. I was just thinking about in general that people spend all this money on the vehicles.
I mean, I guess you're trying to strike a balance, but I've seen instances where persons have vehicles and you can't see who's in there. Imagine
why do you have to see who's in there?
Remember these?
I don't understand that, honestly. Why? But
the only person that should have the extremely dark vehicles is the government officials and the police.
I don't agree.
But you must be able to see who is driving.
Why do you have to
because listen, the person, it could be someone who doesn't have a license.
Okay, I understand
and
that.
There could be the commission. There could be somebody could have committed a heinous act, and you're just looking to see who that individual is.
We're not saying everybody,
but Sophie,
and
I'm
then
just
some people use their tint to hide and use the cell phone.
Yes, absolutely. But I agree. But I absolutely understand that. But I'm just saying, you have to be wary of this approach that says that. I get the impression sometimes from the police that they look everything through the lens of potential criminalities, like everything just because you're because you have a hammer, everything isn't a nail. You know what I'm saying?
But look at it in this aspect. We're facing increase in homicides and stuff like that. I mean, at this point in time, I think we have to look at everything. Especially when it comes to investigation and everything. What's going on right now?
So balance. I mean, all these things Sophie said, and you said were reasonable. Somebody could be driving without the license, but don't always assume.
And also, people could be using their vehicles as vehicles for illegal means. I mean, transporting. You don't know. I mean, the thing about it, I understand what you're saying.
But then why would you have probable cause to be thinking like that?
Because of all the world.
Is that part of our legal system? Probable cause. I mean, you can't just assume 6 cars passed you that are tinted out. 6 criminals.
No, I don't think persons are thinking that they are criminals. I mean, as it stands now, the law provides that the tint has to be at a certain level. So automatically, if the tint isn't at a certain level, you have committed an offense. So I don't think it's a matter where the police is
Thinking
thinking
that
that
it's
they're
criminals
criminals.
in there.
But at
Right.
the same time, I think when the thing was there is to make it easy. I mean, you're coming on the public road. What is it that you're hiding?
Because they're tinted, you're hiding something?
I'm not just saying tinted, 'cause most vehicles are
Heavily.
tinted.
Yeah.
As
That's
Officer
like saying
Henry
if I'm in my home and I
as-
draw my curtains, I'm
as-
hiding something?
as no,
Come
your
on
home
now.
is different.
Privacy.
Yeah.
How,
But I
how is it
mean,
different?
Okay, so for example, right,
That's your
Jamster,
home.
Jamster, for example, as Officer Henry indicated, you
Mhm.
know, the vehicles come with a level of tint. They don't come with this glass
Yeah.
straight off.
Yeah.
You have made the argument that you believe that the tint should be the required amount or level should be increased, so that persons can have protection of vehicles and okay.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, whatever balancing approach is done or implemented, one has to still look at the fact of identification. Because when you're on the road, it's a matter of identification. You have vehicle, you have your license plate identification. Everything on the road that is relates to driving is for ease of identification. So too, when you have the vehicles and the windows and they're tinted so that they could see who's in there, is for identification as well.
But can't you reasonably assume, especially, for example, a vehicle, you know the number of a particular vehicle, and you know the person, and you know, okay, that person is not involved in a criminal activity. I am not
don't-
saying, for example, that maybe their car couldn't be stolen or something, but
No, I
can't you
don't think it's a matter.
reasonably
For example,
assume
you're
that-
going very
can't you
far.
No.
You're going. Let's say that someone is crossing the road. This person didn't intend to commit anything. So you have a driver, and a young man is hit on the road. The young man then survives but has damages, and then you look at the vehicle number. You identify the vehicle number, but you can't say who drove it at the particular time. You know to. So I mean.
But why is everything you look? But what I'm saying is, I am not saying that we live in a crimeless society, but why is everything being looked at through the lens of people being dishonest?
It's not just being dishonest.
I mean, there's no good faith.
There's
You
no
obviously
space.
know there's gonna be this. You know there's gonna be the minority of people who just are always up to no good.
But as long as the police is out there, must identify the person who is in that vehicle. And if
Okay.
your vehicle is heavily tinted, you can't say who is in it.
Okay. There's a comment here that says 35% tint is too light for the climate we live in. Jamster, I agree with you. The police know that too. Their private vehicles have 20% tint. Sophia?
Not mine. Mine is 35.
Watching you.
35.
Right.
I always abide by the law. Yes.
And there are special vehicles, I guess, for whatever security purposes that
Mhm.
they have the
Yeah,
heavy tint,
absolutely.
you know.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's totally fine.
But we've been here talking about tint for like more than the half an hour we've been talking about road safety.
What's this last thing before we go? Money, what? Money scheme? Money scheme that be. Police should get their car tinted and we can't tell who in it either. Me ain't want stop. Me and me ain't know who them be. Who them they be. Whatever. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So I mean,
So I hope you guys make a practice of if you're driving a unmarked vehicle and they stop, they identify themselves as police.
Yes.
Okay. Because that could
you
be
know
a-
the devil's advocate in me could say, well, Jamster, if we have no identification plates, you could say, well, why do we need identification plates? We should assume that everybody who's driving is going to be.
No, that's
Okay, so that's a bit.
Yeah,
too
that is
far.
that's extreme.
Okay,
That's
that's
extreme.
extreme.
Come
Okay.
on now.
Well, yeah, I understand the concern that you have in terms of the tint. I mean, it
I
could
mean,
be see,
like
you mean to-
registration plates are basic.
You
know.
mean there is a balancing effect? You're talking about the conditions we have here balanced by, I guess, the need for identification.
Mhm.
What is
Mhm.
the amount that would be able to do that and still able to do that?
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah. But I just think that some good faith should go into the policing. I mean, if you
But
guys
the police get the laws, you know.
We're only there to enforce.
The police enforce the laws.
We enforce the laws that were.
Okay.
I mean, they could make recommendations, but at the end of the day, it's for
We
parliamentarians
enforce it,
to
Hope
make
if ever-
amendments and
I hope if I
everything.
ever get held up for having wrong tinted Sophie, at least I wouldn't, it'll be a maybe a backhandedly pleasant
So
experience.
make sure your vehicle have on 35%. That way, if I stop you, you have to say, oh, it's because we had this conversation or this on the radio. No, Jams, I'm not like that.
I know. You. I mean,
You imagine it when he's driving, the officers looking, make sure he got the thing to
That's what if you're watching.
Donnelly will say, yeah, you're on the radio talking how could stupid about it.
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
So we had
Sophie.
yes.
Nice show. We had a nice
Yes.
show
Yeah.
today.
Yes.
Nobody called. I guess they were.
Remember the
guess, yeah.
phones?
No, I had them reset.
Remember you
Oh,
said you had them reset ASAP.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
Because I know, okay. I know some days even after resetting them, there's
Yeah.
difficulty.
Okay, Sophie. So, great show. See you next week.
Next week is a holiday, Jams. So.
Oh yeah,
Jams.
Remember, it's
yeah.
emancipation.
Yeah, that's true. Emancipation Day.
Emancipate
Oh.
yourself from mental slavery. Jam stuff. None but ourselves can free
Your
our
mind.
minds.
I'm so rest of mine next week. Rest of mine next week. Take a little trip over the waters. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's some songs.
Because I'm thinking,
here's
Jam, so
some-
you remember last week you
here's
were
some
expecting
Culturama songs of
Social
freedom.
Security? It's this week. Because Wednesday's the 31st.
Mhm.
It's the
Oh,
last
because
Wednesday.
I was told
yeah.
it's next week, but I was told it was last week, and
No.
I was thinking, is
No.
it really last week? But
It's
okay.
this one.
It's this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys are, Jamsa, you've been trying to get July out of the way?
No, no, no. it's not me. No.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, then. We'll
Okay.
take a short break and come back.
Okay, Sophie, have a great day.
Yes.
Same to you.
Okay.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Dalil Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Have you heard the exciting news from Makana Ferry Service? Here goes! We've reinstated subsidized rates for 2024. So now you can travel to Sabre, Statia with a reduced return rate, and we introduce special same-day rates. Wait! There's more! You've asked for day trip to St. Martin? Well, now it's a reality! Yes, on the weekends. Also, with the introductory special same-day rates, giving you savings and affordable transportation options, where you save every time. And hear this! Our new schedule now includes Anguilla. Go to www.makanaferryservice.com or call our local agents. Ship it for less at 869-466-1151 extension 2 or 662-3961. You can email makana@shipitforless.com. So now you know. Enjoy the sun, sand, and unforgettable celebrations this summer with Makana Ferry Service and the gift of connection.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere, with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop www.shoptdcgroup.com.
Back, it's 9:28. There was a story here. So Biden, President Biden, he calls for Supreme Court reforms and an amendment to strip presidents of immunity, so that this came about because of one. You could say some instances of, let's say, Supreme Court judge misconduct that happened over the last few months. I don't know if you're following that, AZ. And he wants to have term limits, 18 years. When
it comes to the term limits, I don't see a problem with that. To say that you're sworn in for life, I think that's a bit.
And he was making the point that he thinks it's unfair that, for example, the judges lower down, like the district, the circuit courts, and so they have binding regulations for conduct and so on, whereas the Supreme Court doesn't. So he wants to have a binding code of conduct.
Yeah,
and he also wants to have a constitutional amendment to strip presidents of immunity from prosecution, which I think is a good idea. I find it's so ironic how here we had President Biden kind of forced out because of
You say forced out?
Yeah, basically forced out because of the Democratic Party's circular firing squad tendencies.
But I mean, they were faced with criticisms from outside too. The polls were showing that he was not doing very well.
Yeah, but he kept saying that he didn't agree with the polls, and I feel like what my phone is ringing. So that guy who said he reset the phone, but it seems as though, because I'm surprised I haven't seen any phone calls, so I'm gonna have to give him a call. Someone here is calling to get in, and I have a feeling he's probably calling to tell me he can't get in because I haven't seen the phone light up once since. So you were saying,
yeah, and when it comes to the Supreme Court of the United States, all the justices are nominated by the president, confirmed by the Senate, and hold their offices under life tenure. Yes. Yeah, so imagine being appointed for life. Yeah.
Hear what Biden said. He said, I served as a U.S. Senator for 36 years, including as chairman and ranking member of the Judiciary Committee. I have overseen more Supreme Court nominations as Senator, Vice President, and President than anyone living today. I have great respect for our institutions and separation of powers. What is happening now is not normal, and it undermines the public's confidence in the court's decisions, including those impacting personal freedoms. We now stand in a breach. I mean, take for example, what happened with Alito's wife with a neighbor. Apparently the neighbor was a Biden supporter, and the neighbor had had up the signs in the yard and so. And Justice Alito's wife, allegedly, because he said it was his wife who did it. She went and she put the flag, the U.S. flag, upside down. And apparently that's something they do when they're, those people on the right, when they're they want to express some kind of
Displeasure?
displeasure with maybe the ruling party or whatever. Think about that in our milieu though. Do you know how messed up that is for a Supreme Court judge? And then there was another incident where they had another flag up, which another right-wing leaning flag that they had up. Think about that in the context of...
You're saying that the justice is showing political...
That's just unseemly. Yeah. It's just unseemly. And
as I
kind
said
of
before,
just beyond the pale as far as someone who is supposed to be upholding the
law, and someone who's supposed to interpret the law, and someone who without any bias whatsoever.
Exactly.
And even perceived bias is enough to bring that institution under.
I mean, that would be like if you decided to drive around and you had spray painted on your car, you had a flag saying Labour must go. You know, you're a lawyer. You're you know.
I mean, a lawyer is different from a judge.
No, but you take my point. A law is different from a
law is different.
But you take my point.
Because at the end of the day, even the judges become judges by being first lawyers, you know. But when you are on the bench, you don't know who's going to be before you. You're going to have persons from different walks of life before you, and they want to know that at the end of the day, when they come before you, there is the fairness that is supposed to be imparted by your decisions, you understand, based on the law. And so I could see where it is if a judge, does something like that. I mean, defend clients on either side, different sides. So lawyer, nah. But maybe if you're a judge and you're in practice, that as you're sitting, I don't think those things are good sides.
Hear what he said here again. Biden says he wants term limits on the court, just as limits were placed on the presidency. He says the United States is the only major constitutional democracy that gives lifetime seats to its high court judges. Term limits would help ensure that the court's membership changes with some regularity, make timing for court nominations more predictable and less arbitrary, and reduce the chance that any single presidency imposes undue influence for generations to come.
Yep.
Now consider the fact that the worst president ever, and I think
this is a conversation based on persons using presidential powers at a very extreme level. You catch what I'm saying? And put it in the point there when you, just the other day at a rally, one of the for the Republicans, their presidential nominee said, "No, vote for him, that in 4 more years you won't have to vote again." Did you hear that comment, Jamster?
Say that again.
Where former President Trump said that, vote for him now, and then in 4 more years
I was coming to that. I was coming to that. I mean,
again.
He's saying the quiet part out loud. I mean, you realize what he's saying?
Yes.
It's just shocking to me that he's saying this,
but yet no one. But yet he has massive support. Yeah. And the thing about it, had it been said by anybody else, and commentators have made the point that the things that he said, if it is said by somebody else, they would get.
Be an uproar.
But for some reason, he has this. I don't know. I don't know if it's that. I don't know. He has this approach where that he says very alarming things that had anybody else said it, it already been an uproar, as you said. But he's some sort of protection.
There's one thing I have noticed that he has kind of precipitated with you could say politics and politicians as a whole. I have noticed that politicians are now saying things. They're saying borderline kind of, I don't want to say inappropriate, but borderline less than decorous things. And they're getting away with it now. They're normal. Take, for example, last week, Yeah, you know, politicians are dropping F-bombs and S-bombs now, and they go on commented on. Last week during
an interview,
the congressional hearing for the director of the Secret Service. That what's her name? That Nancy Mace. I think she's a representative for North Carolina. She actually swore to her. She said, "You are full of S now." You are really full of S now, because they were they were asking her questions and she wouldn't answer.
Yeah,
and CNN played that, and you're seeing more instances of that you would have been unthinkable 10 years ago.
I think that there was an interview by I think a political figure, and I think it had very
A Democrat dropped an F-bomb last week during a rally or something, and nobody even bats an eyelash now, and that's because of Trump, I think.
Yeah, it's getting it's different times, especially what you hear and stuff like that. And I was just looking at some polls earlier, and it is based on this source, because polls are done. It's a snapshot of what persons are thinking at a particular time. But this morning I was looking at where they had the poll was saying that 2024, and it's from MSN.com, and it's U.S. poll. It says here that internet erupts after Fox News polls show Harris ahead in swing states. So in this, it was published about 12 hours ago, and it says here, story by David McAfee, and it says 2020 favorability ratings, and it says, so it has Harris 49 to Trump 47 in Wisconsin, and it has Harris 49 to Trump's 46 in Pennsylvania. Minnesota, it has Harris 51 to Trump's 43, and in Michigan, it has Harris 57 to Trump 47. So this poll, if correct, is showing that she is leading in all the swing states right now.
Yeah, but I think it's still within the margin of error, right? Yeah.
I heard she got a lump sum of money from Bill Gates' ex-wife. Is that true?
She's been raising funds like crazy. Persons
24 hours she pulled in so much money.
Oh, so we have a phone. Caller, go right ahead. Hey, caller, go right ahead.
Good morning to everybody.
Hey. Hi, Gregory.
Good morning to
Gregory, what you said to those words that said by the former president. I thought about you when he said those words, and
which words?
They think that if you vote for me, you will have to vote again, and then Gregory probably saying that's the way the system should be, not voting.
Gregory is going to defend that, of course.
Gregory, what you say to those?
If you vote for me, let me try to answer. If you vote for me, you won't have to vote again.
You won't have to vote for again, basically, essentially. If you vote for me now.
But here's the kicker. He said this to Christians.
Yes, and Gregory is a Christian. So Gregory, he was speaking. Gregory, so tell us.
Let me hear this now, Gregory.
I'm trying to understand the statement yourself. If you vote for me now, you won't vote again.
Okay, let me look for the direct statement.
Let me see if I can find the clip, and I'll play it. I'll see if I can find it. Because I'm surprised. I thought.
Really
you seem as though
Gregory, you didn't hear that.
You seem as though
Gregory's not keeping up.
Gregory, what's going on with you?
No, I'm sorry. So why supposed to mean he's gonna be there forever until they die? So you won't have to vote again?
That's what your president's saying.
So let me see.
My president, how he became my president?
Cause you defend Gregory, you defend Mr. Trump strong enough?
No, defending somebody against Azard and sort of stuff doesn't mean that you are for the person.
So why defend them then? He don't know you. He wouldn't even defend you.
Okay, James, I think I found something.
Do you think he will extend the same courtesy?
Let me see if I have it.
Trump wins. Listen to what the former president told a Christian group at the Turning Point USA Believers Summit in West Palm Beach. The former president telling the crowd that if they re-elect him to the White House, they won't have to worry about voting ever again.
And again, Christians, get out and vote. Just this time.
Just this time.
You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
He said it 3 times. Now, the Harris for President campaign releasing this statement after the former president's speech tonight, saying, quote, America can do better than the bitter, bizarre, and backward-looking delusions of criminal Donald Trump. Vice President Kamala Harris offers a vision for America's future focused on freedom, opportunity, and security. Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
Yeah, so that was
So Gregory, you've been all caught up now. So let me hear your crazy defense.
Okay, number one, I don't know what Trump mean by that. Only one thing I could think of, if the clip is in proper context. If the clip is in proper context,
trust me, it's in proper context. And he said this to a Christian group.
Then if once it is said in proper context,
Please stop dancing and give us what you think.
In proper context, once the clip has it in proper context, the only thing I could make of that, I can make of that is he probably saying that if you vote for me and I get reelected, I'm going to be president for life.
Yes, that's what he's saying. So what do you think of that?
And he said it's going to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but let me say this. Let me get this correct in this start. The election system that is being used all over the world today, including here in St. Kitts and Nevis, it is sinful and it is wrong, and to participate in it is sinful and goes against the Bible. So to me, irrespective of whatever he meant, the system its own self is contrary to the Bible, and to participate in it is sinful before God. So irrespective of what he meant, irrespective of what he said, really and truly for me, is neither here nor there. Okay, because the system is its own self wrong, and to participate in it is sinful according to the Bible. So it's immaterial for me for whatever he said and for whatever he means, because he's saying something based in context of an ungodly system.
Okay, so Gregory, you called in. What point were you when you called in? What point did you want to make?
Yes, the point that I wanted to make was this. Remember the last time we spoke about this Trump thing, and y'all said he called some countries asshole, okay?
Yeah.
Now, what I want to, and y'all said, well, the lady said that she heard a clip. Well, I offer her $200 if she's able to find that clip.
The Lord said, "Thou shalt not gamble." I never said I heard the clip, Gregory. I said I had the article.
No.
I had the article.
Okay. First of all, the Bible does not condemn gambling. Gambling is not something sinful where the Bible is concerned. People say so, but you won't find it in the Bible.
Okay.
That's number one. And I buy lottery tickets because I don't see anywhere in the Bible where the Bible condemns gambling or forbid it.
Has the Lord blessed you with the winnings?
Well, the Lord has blessed me with certain winnings.
Okay.
Yes. Thank God for them.
800 there, 200 there.
No.
Okay, so Gregory, let's go straight to the point. What point are you making? You're making the point that you've searched the web and you have not found a video or a clip of him saying that. That's what you're saying.
Well, but it's not just that. But the point that I made the last time I called on this issue was that the only person who was in the meeting that said he said it is a Democrat called Dick Durbin, who Obama exposed as a liar because he also told a lie on the Republicans when they and the Democrats had a meeting with Obama, and they said something insulting about Obama, and Obama saying, spokesman said, no, Dick Durbin is wrong. The Republicans didn't say anything insulting to him in the meeting. So he has been exposed even by Obama as a liar. And all the reports that I have read on the matter and all the articles I've read on the matter And all the news stuff I've read, I've heard, and the matter, all of them goes back. Well, those that give the primary source for quote-unquote Trump saying so, all of them goes back to Dick Durbin. But the investigations that was had, in the meeting said no, they didn't hear Trump said that. Only Dick Durbin said that Trump said that. Everybody else in the investigation
you have another
said
caller
they
there.
ain't heard him said it.
Okay.
Okay, caller, go ahead.
Hi.
Yes.
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I've been receiving a strange message on your other line.
Okay.
This customer is not registered. Never heard that one before.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't really want to yank your chain this morning, Jasper, but aren't we tired of black people having to prove themselves all the time, everywhere?
In reference to what?
Really overbearing.
Kamala, you mean?
Hello?
In reference to what?
In reference to your lead story this morning with the driver, race car driver.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, Kamala Harris. You know, there is always that underlying thing that black people don't know what they're doing.
Yes.
It is really overbearing now. And what's worse is that we do it to ourselves. We stereotype ourselves. And that's one more reason I think we should be hard on our leaders instead of sucking up to them. Because they give the impression that we can't govern ourselves. They reinforce that stereotype. They essentially seem hungry for power. When they get the power, they abuse it. Instead of trying to make our countries a shining example of what black people can do. Right? I mean, they participate in all kinds of strange, the usual nepotism and cronyism and corruption and low standards. You know, and since they set the tone for the country, it's not surprising that the country as a whole follows suit, right? So I am hoping that at least those people who can make a difference would do so. We have to hold their feet to the fire, otherwise things would never change. Okay, we'll always accept low standards, we'll always tolerate foolishness, and things would never change. But honestly, you know, I am longing for one black country to show itself as an example to the rest of the world that black people can do, rather than follow suit or follow what the previous colonizers used to do. They can chart their own course and be a shining example to the world.
And you know, the
Longing
people, the critics always point out that, like, you know, you always run into these people on, say, YouTube and so on, or Twitter, who talk about, point out one black country that, you know, is not a basket case, blah, blah, blah. And they always disingenuously ignore the fact that it's the very same first world, so-called first world, that is working in the background, trying to undermine these very same countries.
Exactly.
You know?
Of course, that's exactly what's happening.
And no one, they don't ever point that out. You know?
And that's part of the double standards that they have. Look at the big fuss they've made of, was it 12 or 13 Israelis being killed by that rocket attack.
Yeah, by Hezbollah.
And by the way, it's annexed Golan Heights, occupied territory. But you see the big thing about that. What about the thousands of Palestinian children who have been killed? You know, this is not an equal fuss about that. And it's generally from the leadership and the press. It's not from the man on the street. If you go by the demonstrations that they have, for instance, you have more pro-Palestinian demonstrators than pro-Israeli demonstrators, even in the West. But the leadership, and the power set in the press, those are the ones who fan the flames. Okay, and it's really unfortunate, but that's and we have to wonder if that's just the way it is, right? We're going to always have these double standards. We're going to always have oppressed people being even more oppressed by the oppressors, and things will never change.
But while you're right, I can't even remember his name. While you're right, you have to point out the fact that Islam is a big part of the problem. The religion Islam is a big part of the problem because if you have a religion that seems to preclude
that kind of activism,
modernity, rational thought, a religion that you adhere to the point where, and I was told that a lot of these people, they've never even read the Quran. Because
I understand.
and
read the Bible.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is the religion is inherently violent. This is not a slur. This is the truth.
I'm not sure it's violent as more activist. Because
Muhammad was a warlord. Among other things. So
hold on.
but wait. Just let me make the point quick. The point I'm trying to make is, if you had, if Islam was a religion of peace and reason and rationality, these people and pragmatism, these people would have realized a long time ago, hey, listen, we don't like the fact that these Europeans invaded and took over our land. We're never going to be cool with it, but let's suck it up and let's make it work, because they're clearly not going anywhere. We can't drive them out. We don't have any nukes, blah blah blah. Let's just suck it up and deal with it the best we can.
Okay.
But
So I wanted to.
Isn't that the problem?
So
isn't that the problem?
Yes.
That we blacks have? We should suck it up. We should suck up whatever happens, because we can't do anything about it. And so we stay content with being always last in the queue and all of that.
No. But
and what I'm saying, Dumpster, Christianity is no better. I agree with you that Islam is probably an activist kind of a religion, and in my estimation, well, okay, that's your religion, practice it over there. But if you come at me, and I am gonna defend myself, okay? And you can say the same thing about Christianity. Isn't Christianity one of the few religions that basically says, if you're not a Christian, you're going straight to hell?
if that's the objective truth, that's the objective truth. Suppose it is the religion of
the corollary to that is that if you're not a Christian, then you are evil. You're inherently evil and deserve what you get.
Okay,
so what I'm saying,
I want to speak on a local issue. So if you guys, could maybe.
Azard has to get his politics fixed. Let's go.
No.
Yeah. Don't want his blood.
No, but
I don't want his blood sugar to fall off.
You guys have been talking for about 10 minutes now. Okay. So I think yes.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to. So the CARICOM heads of government meeting. It's the 47th regular meeting, and it's in Grenada, and it's happening now. And this is a press release that says. Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Jeffrey Hanley, led a delegation from St. Kitts and Nevis to the 47th regular meeting of the Conference of the Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community in St. George's, Grenada, from July 28th to 30th, 2024. It says the delegation accompanying Dr. Hanley, and it includes the Permanent Secretary, also His Excellency live on. It includes heads of the Regional Integration and Diaspora Unit, Sharima Matthew, Director of SKNIS, and Mr. Hazel, Senior foreign services officer in the in foreign affairs. So it says that the meeting will address critical issues including agri-food systems agenda, which prioritizes food and nutrition security, climate change and sustainable development, foreign policy and CARICOM single market and economy, and the engagement with social partners. The impact of Hurricane Beryl in the region will also be a significant topic of discussion. And Dr. Hanley would be leading that delegation. The only thing that I was wondering is that it says the heads of government, and usually it is the prime ministers of these countries that go, but I'm not saying that Dr. Hanley can't go, but I haven't seen a reason why the prime minister hasn't gone.
But that's where you have a deputy prime minister. I don't think that needs an explanation. That goes beyond the usual. He's deputy prime minister.
Okay, that's your opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any hay should be made out of that.
Okay.
You don't think? I mean, that's reasonable. He's the deputy prime minister. Why do we have a deputy prime minister if he can't do those things without people going, well, why isn't he prime? I think that's a little nitpicky, AC. Come on.
I don't think so. I mean, all I'm saying, I think you have your opinion, and that's fine with you, because your opinions, sometimes differ from others, and that's fine. But all I'm saying, I'm not saying that he shouldn't, he can't go. I'm just saying if it's a heads of government meeting and our head of government cannot go,
you're being a little too reason.
I'm thinking
he's a deputy prime minister.
Listen,
he's a head of government.
This a head of government.
He wants
a head of
but
government.
I'm saying, right?
He's one of the heads of government.
Are you going to allow me to make my point, or are you going to interrupt me?
He's number 12
after I make my point, I guess you couldn't speak. All I'm saying, if it's a heads of government meeting and it's expected that the head of government goes, if the head of government doesn't go, I would think that I would just want to know what the reason why the head of government didn't go.
No, maybe he has a next engagement. I'm not sure.
We can't assume, so that's why
As I
we
said,
have reason.
Keyword maybe.
Isn't that a reasonable assumption?
We can't assume on matters of state, Jam. So
why we can't assume in a situation
when we
like
assume
that?
And we are incorrect. When you make assumptions, there's the opportunity for you to be incorrect. If a reason is given, there's no need for assumption, because assumptions aren't facts.
This is
you understand?
This is why opposition parties sometimes
come across as an opposition member,
as being grasping and overcritical and be oppositional for the sake of opposition.
You are saying that this is
something
an opposition
like that.
standpoint.
This is not he's the deputy prime minister at the end. No explanation needed. I don't know the issue.
This is not an opposition standpoint. This is me reading the article as an individual and a citizen, and had that question. I'm sure other persons had the same question too.
And then also, let's say, take for example, let's say it was about national security. Some other reason. Don't you think that the prime minister has the discretion to decide who he sends, even though it's supposed to be heads? And he sent the deputy prime minister in this case. Now, let's say it was something on national security. He has the discretion to send Wussy.
If it's a heads of government meeting for heads of government and the head of government isn't going, all I'm saying that I was looking for explanation as to why the head of government isn't going.
Okay, you're looking for an explanation, but that's what I should have said.
That's what I said from the first.
Yes, but I think it's unreasonable.
That's what I should have said. You see why I just clarify my point all the time?
But I think
you see why I clarify my point all the time, because I've said that. I stuck to what I've been saying. And then in the end, you tell me,
no,
well,
but
that's
what
what
I'm
you
saying.
should have said.
Okay, but what I mean, that's what I said. Yes, what I'm trying to say is, I think this is one of those cases where it's unnecessarily finicky. You've been unnecessarily fastidious about.
That is your opinion.
Because he's a deputy prime minister.
All I'm saying, and I think that we are going to agree to disagree. But all I'm saying, if it's a heads of government meeting, my natural curiosity, if it's a heads of government meeting that is usually attended by the prime ministers of this country, and our deputy prime minister is going, all I'm saying, I'm wondering why isn't the
if
prime
Kamala
minister
Harris is sent to do something, let's say she gets sent off to China to meet with whatever or whoever. No one says, "Oh, why isn't he going?" She is the vice president.
I made a comment based
Jeffrey
on
is the deputy prime minister.
I made a comment, and it's not in terms of any opposition party or any opposition.
Okay,
I made a comment
I hope so.
as a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, and I did have a question in my mind. I wonder why the Prime Minister isn't going. And I think it's fair enough that as a citizen of this country that I could ask a question. And I think it's a reasonable one too.
So you say all heads of government meeting, because you all know I don't like to get
all
into
I'm
stuff.
saying, listen,
all heads of government meeting should be
said
attended
what
by
I
the
said.
head, right?
Oh my, this is what I said. Is a heads of government meeting, right? A heads of government meeting. If our head of government isn't going, all I'm thinking is that there should be an explanation. That doesn't say that somebody else can't go. I'm saying that I would just, I would ask what.
I hope after hearing.
Yeah, but I don't think you needed. I don't think you needed to say that an explanation has to be given, because it's a deputy. It's not like
that's your opinion.
It's not like he sent the financial secretary, someone who isn't. He sent the deputy prime minister.
That's fine. All I said is I thought I was looking for a reason. I didn't see one.
He has
maybe some reasons.
He has his political dagger out to the other side.
He's just asking as a citizen, Jamster.
A citizen of this country.
Yes, as a citizen.
Am I not?
Other citizens might
Don't
be
I have my
just as concerned as
Yeah, I'm looking at you.
Don't I have my passport? And
what a spicy way to end the morning.
The shoulders you have on glasses.
When I said when I had
glasses,
and my passport I got from being born here.
Okay. On that note, folks, it's Monday. Have a wonderful day. An excellent day. Yes.
I had to let him get his political fix. But
what fix?
He had to.
Gentlemen,
he had to work
have
for it,
a great day today.
Enjoy the high.
Jamster.
Folks, remember, be good. Be good. Be good. Yes. Be good.
All love.
Indeed.
All love.
Yes.
Same place, same time tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place.
I'll have the grill.
But tomorrow we have spicy stuff.
Well.
We have the same Dick Durban commenting on the Venezuelan election, and we also have to talk about that Venezuelan election that has two winners. But of course, we know the bully that's going to claim the win. And on that note, we say, get ready for the discussion tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw the article. So we're going to talk about that, Jam. So we're going to hear what your views are.
The election was it yesterday or Saturday?
I think it was I think it was yesterday. I think. Don't quote me, but I think it was supposed to be a Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was still using the Guyana thing, and nobody was taking him on.
We should also include it, probably this discussion. I've always thought having elections on the weekend is more practical.
Because more people are home, and you're not taken away from work and all of that.
Exactly.
Shebang. Yeah. So we have a nice topic for tomorrow. So folks, listen in. You don't want to miss it, including, the lovely banter we have between the Invisible Man and the great AZ.
And Captain Politics.
They're gonna get you. They're gonna get you, Invisible Man.
See y'all.
Have a good one. Bye.
Found the sound.